And welcome back to our SportsSource.tv overtime segment. We appreciate you joining us every Sunday afternoon after the show for this extra segment. It's brought to you by Jinx Logos. As you might have noticed, we got a new set, new logos, and everything of our own. And we are going to be calling, by we, I mean I, am going to be calling Jimmy Andrews of Jinx Logos. You see the number right there on the screen, 755-7767. The best promotions guy I've ever seen in terms of shirts, jackets, caps, golf bags, you name it, with your logo on there. Dress out your sales team, come up with handouts, t-shirts for events. Call Jimmy Andrews, Jinx Logos. I cannot give a better recommendation than to say call this guy this week. Trust me on that one. All right, we talked a lot about the offensive line during the segment, during the show today. I got a tweet that I thought was pretty funny, and that is this year's offensive line is that bamboo Dooley was growing being shoved under our fingernails. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good now.
Yeah.
Will this offensive line improve? You're 6 games in. I just don't know that you're going to see any corners turned, especially the next 2. If we're worried about confidence, they're not going to have good confidence coming out of Ole Miss and Alabama, I don't think. Do you expect to see any improvement on this offensive line this year?
I don't. I don't see a lot, because if it was just communication issues, then I could say, yeah, you could see some benefit and improvement. But you have guys getting beat one-on-one, and sometimes it's very simple moves. It's speed rush to the outside, slap the outside hand, and get to the quarterback. Listen, if you can't stop that, you're in trouble. I mean, there's not a whole lot of improvement you can do there. It's one of the most basic moves. If you can't stop it, as a former defensive end, I got you all night long, and I'll play you anytime, anyway.
And people have all year. And you're right. You're seeing it not only on the right side with the freshman.
Yeah.
You're seeing it on the left side with Kirbyson, who's not a left tackle by trade. So, guys, is this offensive line, do you see improvement coming?
I don't really think so. And the thing and Tim Irwin knows a whole lot more about offensive line play than I do. He pointed out against Chattanooga that it was just people one-on-one beating the offensive line, just head up beating them, which is not a good sign when you got an FCS team doing that to you. So I think it's going to be difficult. I did ask Don Mahoney this during the week, would it be better to have to flip the freshmen a little bit so that at least you don't have 2 freshmen on the same side? He said it really doesn't matter. But I just don't see them getting much better. And I think coming out of the Ole Miss Alabama games, where's the confidence going to be, as we're talking about?
I would be scared if I'm Don Mahoney or Butch Jones at this point that, all right, you've put your best 5 out there. You think these are your best 5. And you said early on, we're going to let them play together because that's the one position. It's not just, quarterbacks, receivers have to be on the same page. Well, yes, but this is an organism. Those 5 guys have to play well together, know what they're doing. Even if you had somebody back there, I'm a little worried about throwing somebody else into the mix right now. The talent could help, but you're going to blow communication.
If you have an injury to somebody that's really not playing that well, and you must not have very good backups because we haven't really seen them get on the field.
Go ahead, Will.
I think it's more telling in just what the offensive line coach said. It doesn't matter if we switch the freshmen. And that's telling you it is not communication or experience. It is they're getting beat one-on-one. They can't win their one-on-one matchup. Who the heck cares what side
you do have
they're
some
on.
Communication issues when they twist and when they stun.
Right.
But yes, for the most part, it is. It's what you go back and look at that Florida game, and you'll see time after time, 1 second, they're here, every man's accounted for. At the 2-second mark, they're all turned.
Yeah.
They're all turned. There's 3-4 guys, and Worley's just having to fall backwards. Sterling.
Well, as spoken as a true defensive end, he said the slap move and all that. He's all happy to play against him. You're worried about all this continuity thing as a former quarterback.
It's not funny, is it?
When these things are happening to you game in and game out, you sit down with your offensive coordinator, you sit down with your head coach, and you change your attack strategy. Find what they do good. They do something good. Find what it is and build on it.
But you know what?
They do something good.
But here's the problem. I think this is part of it, though. They may be able to do very few things good, but the defensive coordinators, and they know what those are now. That's why Chattanooga was in press coverage for most of that game. You think Ole Miss is going to be pressing the whole time down Oxford?
And look at how many talented defensive linemen you have in the SEC. I mean, if you're going to have a glaring weakness.
And we said that this summer.
This is the worst league to try and get better with a young offensive line because of who you're going against. A lot of times I watch Tennessee play, and it's like they've got a guy in the penalty box. It looks like they're playing a man short.
Even though again, They'll have 7 to block 6 when somebody brings 6. They'll have 6 to block 5, and they're still getting whipped.
They'll have 5 to block 3
Three.
and get whipped.
Except when they cut block. I say more cut blocking, and you had a comment off air. You want to make it here online?
He's calling you out.
I just said there's some pro guys that don't like guys cutting at their knees, and if guys getting you too much, occasionally what you did back in the day was you held one guy up and you did a chop block and you took your penalty, but at least it slowed him down for the rest of the dang game. And I'm not the guy going to make that call, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to win some games.
You
sometimes.
find that thing. You find that thing, baby. That
Going
thing.
for knees is that thing.
Well,
That's what they
no,
can
no,
do.
Just one time.
I don't
it
think it's-
slows them up the rest of the game.
I think they can cut block 3 or 4. I think they need to on almost a regular basis.
I would tell you, I would put it this way, I would, on a serious basis, I would tell your running backs off the chip block on occasionally, if he's free and disengaged from the offensive lineman, take his knees, cut him. That way it's not chop, that way it's not chop block.
Chop
but
block,
that-
and for those that don't know, chop block illegal, cut block legal.
Fine, right.
You can do it.
But
Um,
I would tell the running backs, instead of going man up, head up, cut him off that, because that will really slow down a defensive end.
Sterling, you don't want to be that dirty.
But I wouldn't initiate that, but I know there is something in our scheme that can that
What is it?
offensive-
Yeah.
Well, hey, trust me.
If you know- well, no,
we've got coaches.
Come
Now
on.
I can't speak on that because I'm not spending the time in the film room that our coaches are doing right
You're
now.
just trusting there must be something they
I
can do.
know it is. I know it is.
Block them for what?
Yeah.
Well, you either know there's something or you think there's something.
No, it's definitely something.
Well, what is it?
I know what it is. You can stick some pepper spray out there.
This is what I'll do. I will do some more film study of my own. Next week I have that answer for you.
Okay,
I'll
very
watch it
good.
with you.
That sounds good. Let's all get together and just show up at Butch Jones' house one night. you said if media could come watch, let's do it.
I'll
All
bring
right.
the chips and dip.
That sounds good. Guys, I appreciate it. Chuck, Jimmy, Will, Sterling, we'll see you over there. We'll see you next Sunday on the Sports Source, 11 a.m. on Channel 6, and then we'll see you right back here next Sunday afternoon for our overtime segment on Sports Source TV, SportsSource.tv, and follow us on Twitter all week, Sports Source, that's at Sports Source TV, at Sports Source TV, no dot. See you next week.